Welcome back to CoinAgeEra. Today, we're uncovering the hidden story behind 4 British pennies that many people ignore every day. The 1971 British 1 penny, 1978 1 penny, 1983 1 penny, and 1986 British 1 penny. At first glance, they may look like ordinary coins, but some of these pennies have fascinating history, rare varieties, and surprising collector value. All of these coins were issued during the reign of Elizabeth II and minted by the famous Royal Mint. Over the years, millions entered circulation, but certain examples have become valuable treasures for collectors around the world. So today on CoinAgeEra, we're going to explore the history, design, and value of these 4 pennies. And you might be surprised to learn that one small penny could sometimes be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Let's start with the 1971 1 penny, a coin that marks one of the biggest changes in British currency history. Let's begin with one of the most important coins in modern UK currency history. The 1971 British 1 penny. This coin may look small and simple, but it represents a major turning point in the monetary history of the United Kingdom. The year 1971 is extremely significant because it marks the moment when the United Kingdom officially changed its entire currency system during the historic decimal day. Before 1971, British money followed a complicated system where 1 pound was equal to 20 shillings and 240 pence. This system had been used for centuries and often confused people in everyday calculations. To simplify the currency and aligned with modern economic systems, the UK introduced decimal currency, where 1 pound equals 100 new pence. Because of this change, the 1971 1 penny became one of the first coins introduced in the new decimal system. Millions of these coins were produced so that people across the country could quickly adapt to the new currency. For collectors and historians, this penny is more than just pocket change. It represents the beginning of a completely new era in British money. The coin was minted by the famous Royal Mint, one of the oldest and most respected mints in the world. On the obverse front of the coin, you will see the elegant portrait of Elizabeth II. This portrait was created by renowned British sculptor Arnold Machin. Machin's design became one of the most recognizable images of the Queen and was used on British coins for many years. The portrait shows a young Queen Elizabeth II wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, symbolizing stability and continuity in British monarchy. The reverse back of the coin features the famous crown portcullis with chains, an iconic symbol associated with the British Parliament. The portcullis design represents strength, tradition, and the deep historical roots of British democracy. Surrounding the design are the words New Penny and the date 1971, clearly indicating that this coin belongs to the newly introduced decimal currency system. Another interesting feature of the 1971 penny is its composition. The coin was struck in bronze, consisting mostly of copper, along with small amounts of tin and zinc. It weighs approximately 3.56 grams and has a diameter of about 203 millimeters. The warm bronze color gives the coin a classic appearance that many collectors love. Because the United Kingdom needed a huge number of new coins for the decimal currency launch, the Royal Mint produced hundreds of millions of 1971 pennies. This means the coin is quite common in circulated condition. However, collectors still actively search for high-grade uncirculated coins, proof versions, and well-preserved examples because they represent the very first year of the decimal penny series. Value and worth. Circulated coins usually range from 10 cents to $1, depending on condition. Uncirculated coins can sell for $5 to $15 or more. Special proof coins are perfectly preserved. Examples may reach $30 to $50 plus among collectors, even though it might appear to be a simple penny. The 1971 British one, penny, is actually a historic symbol of Britain's transition into modern currency. It reminds us of the moment when the UK simplified its monetary system and introduced the decimal coins that people still use today. And that's why collectors around the world still appreciate this coin, not just for its value, but for the history it represents. The 1978 one penny was issued during the reign of Elizabeth II, whose portrait appears on the obverse of a coin. This portrait was designed by famous British sculptor Arnold Machin and is known as the Machin portrait. It shows the Queen wearing the beautiful Girls of Great Britain and Ireland, giving the coin a royal and elegant appearance. This portrait became one of the most recognizable designs in British coinage and remained in use for many years on different denominations. On the reverse side, the 1978 penny features the classic crown portcullis with chains, a historic emblem associated with the British Parliament. This powerful symbol has been used on British coins for decades and represents strength, authority, and the long tradition of parliamentary democracy in the United Kingdom. Around the design, you will see the word penny, along with the year 1978, clearly identifying the coin. Like earlier decimal pennies, the 1978 one penny was minted by the historic Royal Mint. The coin was struck in bronze, made mostly of copper, with small amounts of tin and zinc. It weighs approximately 3.56 grams and measures about 20.3 millimeters in diameter. The bronze composition gives the coin its classic reddish-brown color, which many collectors find attractive. During the late 1970s, pennies were widely used in everyday purchases, so the Royal Mint produced hundreds of millions of coins to meet public demand. Because of this large mint, the 1978 penny is still quite common in circulation today. However, collectors are always searching for uncirculated coins, proof versions, and hybrid examples, because these coins can be much harder to find in perfect condition. Another interesting aspect of the 1978 penny is that it represents a period when Britain's economy and currency was stabilizing after the transition to decimal money earlier in the decade. Coins like this became symbols of the modern British monetary system and continued the long tradition of British bronze pennies that had existed since the 19th century. Value and worth. Circulated coins usually sell for 10 cents to $1, depending on condition. Uncirculated coins can reach around $5 to $15 plus. Proof or very high grade examples may sell for $25 to $40 or more among collectors. Even though the 1978 British one penny might seem like an ordinary coin, it is still a small piece of British history. For coin collectors, it represents the continued success of the decimal currency system and the long reign of Queen Elizabeth II. The 1983 British one penny coin is actually one of the most interesting and famous pennies in modern British coin collecting because of a special and rare variety that many collectors search for. The 1983 penny was issued during the reign of Elizabeth II and minted by the historic Royal Mint. On the front of the coin, you will again see the elegant portrait of the Queen, designed by Arnold Machin. This portrait shows Queen Elizabeth II wearing the famous Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, and it became one of the most recognizable royal portraits used on British coins for many years. The reverse side of the 1983 one penny continues the traditional design used on earlier decimal pennies. It features the crown portcullis with chains, a powerful historic symbol representing the British Parliament and the long tradition of democracy in the United Kingdom. Around the design you will see the word one penny, along with the year 1983. However, the 1983 penny became famous because of a rare minting error. Normally, coins minted before 1982 had the inscription New Penny, but after 1982, the wording was officially changed to one penny. Because of this change, all regular 1983 coins should say 1 penny on the reverse, but a very small number of 1983 coins were accidentally struck with the old New Penny. Reversi designi. These rare era coins are extremely valuable and are considered one of the most famous modern British coin eras. Collectors around the world search for this rare variety because only a few examples are known to exist. Like earlier pennies, the 1983 1 penny was originally made from bronze, containing mostly copper, along with small amounts of tin and zinc. The coin weighs around 3.56 grams and has a diameter of about 203 millimeters. The warm bronze color gives the coin its classic appearance that collectors love. Millions of normal 1983 pennies were produced, so most coins from this year are still common in circulation. However, finding a high-grade uncirculated example or the rare New Penny era variety can make the coin extremely valuable. Value and worth. Circulated coins usually range from 10 cents to $1. Uncirculated coins can sell for $5 to $20 plus. Rare 1983 New Penny era coins have sold for thousands of dollars at auctions. Because of this famous mint era, the 1983 British 1 penny has become one of the most talked about coins among modern UK collectors. Many people still check their old pennies, hoping to discover this rare and valuable variety, the 1986 British 1 penny. This coin is another interesting piece from the decimal era of British currency and comes from the reign of Elizabeth II. Although it may look like a simple everyday coin, the 1986 penny has its own place in the history of modern British coinage. The coin was produced by the famous Royal Mint, which has been responsible for minting British coins for centuries. On the obverse front of the coin, you will see the elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II created by Arnold Mott. This portrait, known as the Machin portrait, shows the Queen wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, giving the coin a royal and classic appearance. This design remained on British coins for many years and became one of the most recognizable images of the Queen around the world. The reverse back of the 1986 penny features the traditional crown portcullis with chains, a historic symbol closely associated with the British Parliament. This design has been used on British pennies since the decimal currency system began in 1971. Around the design, you will see the inscription, 1 penny, along with the year 1986, clearly identifying the denomination and year of the coin. By the mid-1980s, the decimal currency system, introduced during the historic decimal day, had already become a normal part of everyday life in the United Kingdom. Pennies, like the 1986 coin, were widely used in daily transactions, from shopping to public transport. Because of this heavy use, many of these coins entered circulation and became worn over time. The 1986 1 penny was still made using the traditional bronze composition, consisting mostly of copper with small amounts of tin and zinc. The coin weighs approximately 3.56 grams and has a diameter of about 203 millimeters. Its rich bronze color gives it the classic appearance that collectors often admire when the coin is found in well-preserved condition. Millions of these coins were minted during 1986 to meet public demand. Because of this large production, the coin is generally common today. However, collectors still look for uncirculated examples, proof coins, and coins in very high-grade condition, because those pieces are much harder to find compared to circulated coins. Another interesting aspect of the 1986 penny is that it represents the final Years of the Bronze Penny Era. Before major changes happened in the 1990s, when the composition of British pennies later changed from bronze to copper-plated steel. This makes coins like the 1986 penny part of the classic bronze penny generation that many collectors enjoy collecting. Value and worth. Circulated coins usually sell for 10 cents to $1, depending on condition. Uncirculated coins can reach $5 to $15 plus. Proof or high-grade collector examples may sell for $20 to $40 or more, even though it may appear to be a simple coin. The 1986 British one. Penny is still a small but important part of modern British coin history. For collectors, it represents the continuation of the decimal penny series during the long and historic reign of Queen Elizabeth II. And that completes today's penny journey on CoinAgeEra, where even the smallest coins can reveal big stories from history.